it was a good plan on Gibeon's side. I agree and disagree in a way, because we will come later on in the lesson to the point where it appears that if they told the truth, and if they said, look, we would really like to convert, to accept your God, that would have been the best option, right? I mean, it was a good that they wanted to make alliance or join them, but they should have done it the proper way, not through deceit. And there was a consequence for that untruth, deceitful way they approached it.
Yes.
I believe that the Israelites supposed to know, because they were warned before by Moses, don't have any connection or relationship with the people that are idolaters, and at least at that time could be the ring in their mind. Oh, those people are not worshiping to our God. Let's ask the Lord. Maybe it's not too late. Ask Him if we can do this. The covenant with them, and they didn't. So it was a double mistake.
It was a mistake, but what I want to say is, if the Gibeonites asked them properly,
Yes, Dada.
Malo složen bio slučaj ovoga naroda.
It is a little bit hard to it's kind of complicated case here.
Moramo priznati da je taj narod došao i priznao i njima govorio šta je njihov Bog za njih učinio.
We have to understand that these people admit that what the Lord has done for them. So they admit that their God is a God of heaven, right?
Dakle, oni su se, iako po nama rečeno kasno, ali su se pokajali i priznali pravog Boga.
It's true, it was late for them, but they still admit this is true God.
I šta bi on sad učinio da su oni došli, da se nisu prerušili, da su došli ovako? Da li bi Gospod rekao Izraelcima, pa poubiju?
So what would the Lord said if they asked the Lord, and what would the Lord said? Should they kill them? No. What would He say?
Kako izgleda nama, recimo, čovjek je griješili i pred samu smrt se pokajao? Šta će biti?
What if the man, just before his death, he's that bad, he just confessed his sins, and so is it true confession, or is it going to be saved? When we should, the earlier the better, but when?
Bog nije istrebio te narode zato što mu se htjelo istrebiti.
God didn't destroy these people, the Canaanites, just because He wanted to get rid of them.
Zato što nisu namjerno prkosili su Bogu i nisu namjerno prkosno htjeli priznati Boga. Zato ih je pokraj tih opomena svega nisu se pokajali i morali su i nikli.
So the Lord just destroyed them because they were purposely, they went against the will of the Lord, and they sinned just purposely
Continuously kept poking at it.
Yeah.
Poking at it.
So that's why the Lord, they filled the measure of the sin, and they've been destroyed.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they would like to add, or shall we move on to the next section? Okay. In that case, Monday, a disappointing deception. What mistake did Joshua and the leaders make with regard to the Gibeonites? Why did they fail? Yes,
Yeah, like they had warning, and when they saw they come humbly and somehow they fell for it, but their biggest mistake was they didn't ask the God. They didn't, like it was, they're not supposed to go in coalition with people who didn't worship the God, but they did. And the biggest mistake, they didn't ask the God, and God didn't get a blessing.
I would like to say just one thing, that in Judaism, conversion of non-Jews to Judaism is a possibility. Jews are not proselytizing. It was their failure probably. But if someone wants to become a Jew, it's possible. And if you accept, as we mentioned, accept all the laws, and male have to be circumcised and so on. But once you become although you're not ethnically Jew, once you accept Judaism, you become like one of them, and there is no difference. absolutely they consider you equal with them. So you see, that's a possibility at that time. But there is proper way how to do it. And this is the problem here. They use the improper way to join, to become, accept Jewish faith, right?
Yeah. And yes.
I kind of looked at this question from a different angle. I was kind of thinking, what can I learn from this? Like, I think the thing that came to my mind is the Israelites were comfortable and they didn't consult God, and that's why they made a mistake. And it brought to my mind the text in the Bible where Satan's going to go around like a roaring lion to deceive us in the last days. And unless we are protected by God, if we are connected with Him, we can easily fail as well. And so it reminded me of that condition of Laodicea, that sort of an outline that applies to us, that we have to be very careful that we're not in that same feeling like the Israelites were. They trusted in themselves and their own decision. And it's just something that I thought I'd share, that we learn these historical lessons and to apply now. It's something that I thought of.
Exactly.
My mind.
A lot of the time, we look at all these stories in the Bible and we're like, oh, that's a good story. We can learn a lot from that. And then a lot of the time, we don't realize that those can be applied to us today. It's different circumstances. It's different, maybe, aspects of it. But we can still apply most of what we learn in the Bible to our lives today and to what we deal with every single day.
At least in principle.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody else have anything they would like to add, or shall we? Yes.
Yeah, they promised, things can them not destroy them. The thing they promised to make alliance with them. The things they stand by the name of God. The things was solemn promise which was already had the consequences of that. And it is very important that if we say something, we promise something, we have to keep. Many is worth how much is the worth of promise.
Exactly. We need to follow through with the promises that we do make. In that case, let's move on to the next question. How did the Israelites react upon seeing they had been deceived? Why were they right in sparing the Gibeonites? Yes.
Of course, when the people realized what was going on, they were very upset, especially the leader. How have they been? Because we trusted in you, and you have been fooled. But at the same time, here, what does it say? They have promised them in the name of the Lord. And so this is the reason why they have kept the promise. And yes, they kept the promise not because they have been tricked, they kept the promise because their promise was based on the promise of God to them. And so they applied the same principle of God that doesn't change His mind. We promised you in this name.
Yes.
We can ask the question, if I promise somebody comes to me and is paying me $100,000 to kill someone, and I make a promise in the name of the Lord, should I keep the promise? No, of course not. When we promise to do something which is against the law of God, we are not under duty to keep the promise. However, in this particular case, if we are told in the spirit of prophecy, these Gibeonites promise to change, to renounce pagan religion, to accept the God of Israel, to keep the law. And in that case, as the White says, they had to keep the promise, the pledge that they made in the name of the Lord. And this was the right thing to do. Although they made mistake, but now they were obliged to keep the promise.
Yeah. If the promise is something that could be beneficial to somebody else, or if we make it without thinking sometimes, and it's
That's coming.
yeah, and then we follow through with it.
Sure.
Anybody else have anything they would like to add, or shall we move on to the next question? Yes.
God is filled with integrity, right? He's like, He's faithful, He's never changing, He's merciful, He's unchanging. So there's something very much about God and integrity. And I think the thing here is, about our integrity when we make promises or statements, we have to kind of like emulate God in that, with his unchanging integrity. We have to kind of show that same character, you know. I'm also thinking about, you know, how somehow Jesus says, you know, that you know, he welcomes he welcomes all who are burdened to come to him, you know. So in some way, like when Jesus says, like, whoever comes to me, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. There's also something about integrity in that, you know. So just this whole concept of integrity, I think there's something to do with the character of God that, you know, we have to learn that, especially with promises, that we have to show God's character and maintain that line that if we promise something, we should stick to it in the same way that God has, you know, Jesus promises us that he will stick to us, you know, and then if we're faithful. Right?
If nobody else has anything to add, we will move on to the next question. So, what do we need to realize about the importance of integrity in keeping our word once we have given it? Sorry, yes.
Yes, in Psalm, you can see the Lord who shall abide in the tabernacle shall dwell in the holy field. He that speaketh truth in his heart to his neighbor, he that walketh righteously and uprightly. And also says in Proverbs, lying lips are abomination to the Lord. You should speak the truth, nothing but the truth. And then we can expect to get him in that situation.
These, as you mentioned, we can apply to daily life. And there are many examples. I remember one case, you know, Valentin. He was buying and selling things through KGG, and sometimes he was doing service to us. And I remember one instance, for one product, I think it was a juicer or something, and he called the person and negotiated, and the person agreed on a price and promised, I sell to you, and they agreed the time. He was on the way to pick up the item, and calls the person said, oh, I'm sorry, I changed my mind. You know, she will not sell. Found a buyer who offers more, and, you know, simply, a person is now on the way, making a long distance in drive. You see, it happened to me once, with one person. I mean, this is despicable. And I mean, if you're a Christian and you give a word, even if you suffer a loss, if you promise something, keep the word, right? And this is what we should learn today. No gain or loss. Once you keep the word, that's it.
I think in times got past, a handshake, a word was a legally binding contract. So
Now, you know, you need to sign the dotted line,
Yeah.
you need to make a contract, make it all
So, you
legal.
know, so I think that came from the word of God, that, you know, your word is, once you pledge it, it's binding.
Anybody else have anything to add, or shall we move on to the next section? All right. In that case, let's move on. 3. The fate of the Gibeonites. Because the Gibeonites had resorted to trickery, what became their destiny in life? How does this show the impact that the God of Israel had made on the surrounding nations? Yes, Dad.
So what did they do when they came to Israelites? How did they pretend to look like? Rags, they were on them, right? They were poor, they were, you know, kind of. So sometimes you have to think what you wish for or what you pretend to, you see? What was the curse upon them? You're going to stay this way.
Yeah.
So it is not, you know, think about twice what you will wish for, what you pretend to do, and what you were trying to, you know, lie about, because that might become your way of life, or you'll become this. So in our life, we should think twice before we do something, before we say something, because the words, we have to understand the words are a very powerful thing, and sometimes we take the words lightly. But, you know, the words, our words can be a life or death to someone else. So may the Lord help us to understand that.
Yes, fine.
I just would like to make a kind of historical context. What was the issue? The issue was there was a kind of a kingly city, very high, kind of very high position. And now in this new arrangement, what was their service? The service was that they were selected, and I do not know exactly in which way, but certainly everybody in the city had a certain time where actually he was doing his service to the temple, bringing the wood and whatever. So, but looking at the big picture of big scale, this is a very little thing, because now it shows the sign of submission. It shows a sign, I'm not in the control of anyone, I have somebody whom I'm submitting to, and I'm doing a certain service. But the service itself was very small. What is this? Bringing a water for the temple, or for the service, where the city of population of so many thousands of people. I mean, you have to understand the proportion. It was rather a symbolical thing that we are now where we are serving. We are not independent anymore. And this has many ways. This is the idea of somebody who has accepted God in his life, and he has an attitude of service.
I'll just quickly read the note, because the note kind of sums up. It says, Gibeon was a great city, is one of the royal cities, and all the men thereof were mighty. It is a striking evidence of the terror with which the Israelites inspired the inhabitants of Canaan, that the people of such a city should resort to so humiliating an expedient to save their lives. So these are princes and it says it was a royal city, and it goes on to use the word, they have to humiliate themselves to save their lives. And then in Joshua 9:23 it says they were cursed because of their deception.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything they would like to add? If not, let's move on to the next question. How did the Gibeonites respond to the verdict? Yes.
We can see that they made a promise to not just the Israelites. And now they accepted everything what God wanted to give to them. They said, whatever you think that is best for us or it's good for us, then do however you want to do with us. And we can see in the Bible verse that they saved their own life, but they became the slave of the Israelites.
Anybody else have anything they would like to say? If not, we'll move on.
I'd like to read the scripture.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just, nobody else is,
That's
I'm
fine.
trying
Go
to
for
figure
it.
out anyways. Joshua 9:24, and they answered Joshua and said, because it was certainly told my servants how the Lord thy God commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land, and to destroy all the inhabitants, including us, of the land from before you. Therefore we were so afraid of our lives because of you have done this thing.
You had your hand up.
Kind of on the bandwagon. What is the attitude of a sinner accepting the grace of God? He's not complaining about a new way of life. He's saying, whatever God you ask me to do, I will do. So there's a kind of beautiful illustration to the whole process. It's a beautiful illustration of how, even if we do not know what we are doing exactly, but if we go with the humility to God, we are accepted by God, and then it comes to the point we are not bargaining with God. So whatever is next to be done, we will do.
All right, let's move on to question C. What evidence shows that the Gibeonites would have been blessed if they had been honest, telling the whole truth instead of practicing deception? Yes, Dad.
Yeah, here in Leviticus, we are told that the law was for the Israelites, if any stranger is among you, that you should, how the stranger should, if the stranger dwell with you, you shall be unto you as one born among you. Not only that, and thou shalt love him as thyself. So accept it as one of them. But if they were, like we were saying before, if they were honest with them, were they, truthful with them before, they would accept them and take them from the heathen to the Judaism, and as one of them. But unfortunately, it wasn't this way, so they had to deal with the consequences.
Sorry, brother, you had your hand up.
Yeah, because we were just mentioning before about the Lord as a precise instruction for them. If they want to join, first they have to show reverence and respect, and they are in agreement that will respect the law and the rites and everything that it was with the Israelites. But now, because the humiliation was not light, saying, well, this is a result of what you choose. You said with your own words, you said, we want to be served. I mean, now you are slaves, but it's not our fault because you choose. I don't know exactly if they had the light to know what the Lord promised directly to the Israelites, if the stranger would want to join you. But it was from both parts something like a silence from the Lord, because the Israelites didn't ask to tell them, and they're just, having their own mind mentality and say, oh, maybe it's true. Those people are strangers coming from far away, so that could be avoided, but we don't know exactly what happened. This is the story, and we learn from it.
Sister Sonia, you had your hand up as well.
Yeah, this wasn't in the lesson, but there's a very interesting verse in two verses in Deuteronomy 20, verse 10 and 11. And it says, when thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. And it shall be, if it make thee an answer of peace, and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto you, and they shall serve thee. So even they need not have worry, because, and even this brings some more light upon the going around Jericho and going around and around Jericho, because that all those 7 days people had an opportunity to open up and say, we want your laws, we want your God, we want to submit. And the same thing happened here. If they had opened up the doors when the Israelites came to besiege their city, they would have been safe if they had acknowledged the God of Israel and been submissive.
Just very briefly, I mentioned this several times, and you help me if I'm wrong. I have not found in the Bible one instance anywhere that anyone, individual or collectively, a group of people sincerely repented and were converted, and that God will not forgive them. There is no such case. If people sincerely repent and are converted, God will never reject such a thing. There were cases where people repented but not genuinely, and they could not find pardon. But genuine repentance always finds acceptance with God.
But we do have several cases when God's people, so let's say so-called God's people, have not truly acted upon God's plan. And even later on, we see the Gibeonites, Saul went and did injustice to them and so on. There are many instances. That does not mean that it was God's intention. That means that was God's desire. Leadership or his people or Israelites have erred many times.
Okay. We will move on to section 4, keeping promises. What did the 5 kings of the Ammonites do when they discovered that the Gibeonites had made peace with Israel? Yes, Dad.
These 5 kings.
But I mean, as I'm trying from the beginning, for me, I was so touched with the beautiful illustration of a Christian or of a sinner that's converted. Thinking a sinner's life, when he sees God, when he's accepted, everything goes well. This is the point in life where there are many expressions. I don't want to go on a typical expression, but everything goes wrong. And we see here in a beautiful picture, every kid can see the dilemma, what is going on. They have been just saved, they are enjoying the beautiful status, but there is an enemy who wants to totally annihilate them, totally destroy them. And the only solution is that comes from God in the situation.
Anybody else have anything they would like to add? I don't know about you, but if you look at it in history, every time the Church of God makes one step forward, Satan is right there, just automatically trying to say, no, that can't happen. Let's squash that. Let's not do that. And it's the same with this story. The Gibeonites repented and decided they wanted to change their ways. And automatically, all the other people that were around them just went, nope, let's destroy them. Nope, we don't need them. So, if nobody else has anything they would like to add, let's move on to question B. When the Gibeonites saw their danger, what message did they send to Joshua, and what actions did he take as a result? Yes, David.
Now it's an interesting situation. Joshua have now chance to record, how I can say. He could say, it's your problem, I don't have to deal with it. They would destroy Gibeonites, he would get out of his street, and that's it. But did he do this? No. He went and fought with them. He still kept his words. Even that his word, he was not obligated to go and do this. His word was not to destroy them. But he didn't promise them that he will defend them from I don't know who. His word to the Gibeonites was, I will not destroy you. But he still went and helped them and defended them.
I think, like Brother Walter was saying, that you come into association with the people of God, and once you become once with them, then you're going to share in the blessings. In fact, in the previous note it said, God had made provision that all who would renounce heathenism and connect themselves with Israel should share in the blessings of the covenant. So you become one with the people of God, and then I think it's a tacit implication that the God of Israel would also be your God, and therefore would be your protector, and the people of Israel would also be part of that protection.
Oh, sorry. Tanya, you had your hand up earlier.
I just wanted to point out something else. We know that Joshua had a twice time experience when he failed to communicate with God, and you know what was the result? This time was like he was communicating to God because God told him, fear not, and go and fight and you will conquer them. So it was very important. Joshua learned his lesson. It's also a lesson for us. Maybe if he failed once, he didn't consult God, failed twice, then consult God, third time you should go for prayer and God will hear and answer this and or another way.
Just the same.
Okay.
We will come to that, but just to say that in this battle, as Tanya mentioned, God signally, in a signal way, helped Israelites in Joshua. And we will see when natural phenomena, supernatural phenomena, supernatural phenomena happen. But also this gave opportunity to the Gibeonites to see the power of Israel, God of Israel, because God was directly intervening in the battle. And even if they had even if their conversion was not as deep as it should have been, but God gave them opportunity to see the power of the true God and to gain deeper experience with God and deeper conversion.
Yes.
I think also to the overthrow of the Amorites. In part, it is that God is showing favor to the Gibeonites because they're now attached to Israel. But the overthrowing of the Amorites is also like the bigger picture that God wants his people to go and to take over and subdue all the land and all the tribes. So there's two things going on here, right? It's like, it's the bigger picture that the Amorites were going to be done anyways, one way or another, but the fact that the Edomites were smart enough to get in the ark, with the Israelites, the ultimate purpose of God's people coming to take Canaan is still going on. So I don't think it's so much of a case of, well, it's partially a case of this side story, that God is protecting the Gibeonites from the Amorites in a way. But the bigger story is that God was like, go and take the land and subdue all the tribes.
Yes.
This was an anguished cry for help, desperate plea, and God always answers a desperate plea, and so should his people. And we see that Joshua mustered the armies of Israel, and he marched all night. And just when the enemy forces were coming upon the city of Gibeon, that's when the forces of Israel showed up to defeat the enemy. And that's how we should be as a people when we are doing the work of God. The smallest person, the faintest cry for help, we should answer not in our strength, but in the strength of God. And this also says here, the danger threatened not the people of Gibeon alone, but also Israel. This city commanded the passes to central and southern Palestine and must be held if the country was to be conquered. So, same thing. This applies in our lives and in the church. The smallest sin that we indulge that is not surrendered to God can be the means that can overthrow the whole of our Christian experience. The smallest sin smallest stronghold that is not defended can be the means of overcoming the whole Christian experience. And the other thing is that same thing about the smallest person in the church or in the world whom we do not help, when we do not answer that cry for help, can be the means of defeating the whole purpose of God.
I will say something now, because my dad, he just told me what he didn't want to say. And I just want you to think about this. I mean, that's something. We were talking about the storage or the company, what happened like so many thousands of years ago, and how we can learn today something about that story. It is good. Just like I said, think about it. Why that story? Why that story of Gibeon? Why do you even care about so many thousands of years about this, after this? Just think about that. How did the Israelites feel about these people who tricked them, who didn't, really take their position properly and, but however, just think about in these last days, sometimes we can think the same way about some people, coming to church or, just willing to be saved or something. You think about this person or that, is it really, just, we shouldn't judge people and see. The greatest miracle that happened, it happened to defend these people. The sun and moon stopped for the whole day. For who? Well, somebody who tricked them and, become, whatever, part of them. But see, so sometimes we're quick to judge. We're quick to say, well, this person or that person or him or that. Let's think about that. Why now? Like my father said, why now? Why today we study about this? We always should, as Sister Sonia said, that the faintest cry, the smallest honest desire of someone to be a part of the Church of God, or to be a part of, to want to be a son and daughter of God, it's God will defend them. No matter what, as long this cry, as long this wish is genuine. So may the Lord help us to understand.
Okay, I think we should move on to the next question. I guess my dad touched upon it, but what revealed the amazing power of Israel's God in behalf of those whom he defends?
When we go here, the verse starts with kind of with the overall description. You know, they came swiftly, they traveled all night, they came swiftly. When they engaged in the battle, the enemy was totally starting to flee. But the main highlight in the construction of this was in the center of it, that more people died because God got involved himself in a way it hasn't happened before. There was a hailstorm that fell upon the enemy as they were going down the ridge and whatever. But it's very quite detailed description where it was, how it happened, and so on. But I think a total summary, a simple summary of all this is that the enemy has been defeated directly by the power of God.
And this is an amazing statement. Joshua, looking down on the ridge, saw that he needed more time to accomplish his purposes. He was out of time, and he appealed to the God of heaven. And somebody had mentioned that now the Gibeonites could see exactly what kind of God the Israelites worship.
Yeah. Dada.
Moram nešto reći.
Let me tell you
Mi ovdje
something.
govorimo, Jozo se pomorio da stane sunce.
Joshua prayed that sun would stand still.
Ja mi vjerujemo u to.
Do we believe in that story?
Je li to veće čudo ili je čudo kad kaže u Evanđelju Isus kaže ako imate vjere rećete ovome dugu iščupaj se i baci se u more.
How does this experience compare to Jesus saying, if you have made, and you say to this particular tree, and be uprooted and be thrown into the lake and sea, and it will happen?
Šta je veće čudo?
What is a bigger miracle?
Naši Adventista kaže, to je Biblija napisana, to je napisano ovako stilski primjeru.
Some Christians say, well, this story is in the Bible. It's not real. I mean, this is kind of it's a metaphor, or it's a figure of speech. Yeah.
Da. Dakle, vidite, šta sam, hoćemo vjerovati da je stalo sunce.
So do we believe that the sun stood, or?
Onda nemojmo hvaliti vjeru. Ako vjerujemo, proučavamo lekciju da je stalo sunce, onda možemo vjerovati i ovo drugo u Bibliji.
So we have to take the word of God as it reads, what God says, and everything else. I mean, I just want to add a little bit. We don't know exactly what happened in terms whether sun stopped in the orbit or the earth stopped or whatever, but God did definitely a supernatural astronomic phenomenon and extended the daylight, until the battle was won.
Yes. We're going to move on to our last section, prayer plus action. What amazing request did God grant to his faithful servant Joshua to the honor and glory of the Creator? Why did he do this?
It was already mentioned, but I think Joshua showed to the Lord his zeal to work. As Sister Sonia mentioned, he just ran all night. And he had no rest because he thought it's very important to do this. And besides, he had the answer from the Lord, go, because I'm with you. And the Lord showed him through different miracles. So now the spirit of prophecy says, God inspired him to pray in this way. And the Lord gave him this gift through the prayer us, recognizing that the plan is in accordance with His will. So he said, he asked the Lord if the sun can stand still, which is a miracle, like already was mentioned.
I mean, it's a beautiful illustration, in a way, as I studied before, of a sinner that repents and comes to God. What God will do in his behalf. I mean, there's only now we know what impact it has or what it actually means, sun stand still. As they had in an earlier time when they had a distorted views. But we know what it means, to what extent. It is a beautiful illustration for us as we are facing difficulties in our life. What God will do, what He has promised to do, and He has stood by and He has stopped the universe in some way for this particular intervention for those people.
Yes, Michael.
Most of the note talks about in any of the battles, right, that we face, it is a joint effort, our part and our faith, but also depending on what God can do for us. And it says here, the secret of success is the union of divine power with human effort. So with all things that we face, nothing is impossible when we have God's input. And the fact that God's created everything and governs over nature and universe, and He can make anything work. We just stop with the sun.
Exactly. Yes, Brother Ray.
Yeah. Also in Revelation we see the seventh angel poured out his vial, and it says that it became a big hail, like man's head, 12 pounds. And they were blaspheming God, they have not still repented of their evil works. These are the phenomenal events that will come in the future. But also in our day and age, I remember in Croatia in the 50s and 60s, we had sometimes total devastation, and there was no harvest. Whole wheat fields and fruit, everything was destroyed. People should remember that there's God that is in charge. We need to repent of our evil ways, not to turn our back to Him, but seek Him without His face, without our heart. We shall find Him without our heart.
Thank you. Let's move on to our last question, which is, what did God again do that shows that He is in control of nature? What will He do in the future? Yes, ma'am.
Well, again, God's, in this case, God stopped the sun from reaching 10 degrees. I think also there was another case, was it with Hezekiah or something? I don't know, something with the suspension. So this is an amazing thing because it's just, it just shows how God is in charge of his creation. Nature is His creation. The sun, the moon, the stars, the universe, the hailstones, all of it is, and He has total jurisdiction and control over those elements. So it just shows how awesome God is in control of His creation. And also too, in the future, when it talks about the last plagues, and a lot of those plagues are nature oriented, in terms of God's jurisdiction over nature. Hailstones falling, and even the plagues in Israel or in Egypt, that God can use His design to do His purpose in nature.
I think with that, we have come to the end of our lesson today. Thank you all for your participation.
Everybody enjoyed their new lesson this morning. Now, at this time, I'd like to call forward Alex and Justin, and they will collect the Sabbath school offering. number 189, The Lord is Our Rock, the first and the last verse. Hymn number 189. Now at this time, I'd like us all to kneel down for the closing prayer, and I would like to ask Caitlin Hamish to please pray.
Our Father, which art in heaven, thank you for bringing us all here today this morning to worship and to fellowship in your presence. Thank you for these lessons that we have so that we may learn from the experiences in the Bible so that we may strengthen our faith in you and to strengthen also spiritually. Please forgive us our sins and help us in the Sabbath day to keep the Sabbath holy and to fellowship together. I ask all these things and I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. We've now come to the end of our Sabbath school this morning. I'd like to thank you all for attending and participating. And I'd like to remind you all to please be on time here for the 11 o'clock service here. Thank you.